And that was the shot they used. They used a shot when there was nothing there. It's so weird.
If I could ask a question, since there was no actual tiger, are there any animals that you've had a relationship with in your life that helped you play that role?
Oh, you know, I hadn't really thought about it that way, but I mean, I'm a dog lover. I've had dogs most of my life, so yeah, I suppose I kind of used that. I thought of her as a big protective dog. Really is the way I went about it. The two great dogs of my life so far were Jake, who was a Doberman, and Daisy, who was a Rottweiler, and they both were just kind of thrown onto me, you know, which is, I think, the best way to get a dog is that they come to you, you know, and Jake was this kind of regal sort of fellow who would sit there, you know, and hold court. I kind of felt like it was Jake. She was kind of like Jake. Daisy was just a truck driving mama who would just, she would eat everything and anything, and she would have her mouth closed, and I'd be wondering what she was thinking, and then she'd go, I realized she's not thinking anything except what am I going to eat next. But yeah, I think Jake really went a long way for me, how I felt about my relationship with Sheila, so thank you for saying that.
Awesome. Up top.
My question is for Coffee.
Love Cooper, question for me.
Would you rather play a king or a cyborg?
I would rather play a king cyborg. You know, the thing that I love about my job is that I don't have to choose. The wondrous variety of you remember Robin Hood, like the Kevin Costner one when he was still talking like he was in JFK?
Well, they ain't got nothing to eat. What can't we eat that the forest cannot provide?
Exactly. So Morgan Freeman was the, you know, he was like the sidekick in that movie, and you know, they'd never seen a black person in England, and the little boy was like, why is your face so dark? And he was like, oh, thank you. Yes, exactly. He was like, God loves wondrous variety, and I was like, and me and God have that in common. I love wondrous variety. I love I don't have to choose. That I get to be, you know, a huge 18-year-old half robot superhero. I get to be Ezekiel, but somehow they connect with all of us, you know, in one way or another. You know, all of these bigger than life things that we make. I think that's what I love about, and we all love about science fiction and fantasy and comic books is that this heightened reality brings our humanity out more, you know, and that's the thread. But all of the different ways that we can find it, the wondrous variety. I don't have to choose. Not gonna do it.
I actually love you both equally.
Wow, I like this.
My question is for Cooper, but Kari, you can also answer if you would like.
This is so inclusive. I love this.
I know that last year you said your favorite song to get pumped up to was Right Hand Man from Hamilton. Is it still your favorite song to get pumped up to? And if it isn't, then what is?
You know what, I actually been playing it at the cons. It's like my first song in the morning. It's the Salisbury Hill. And I've been having that more for this season. Right Hand Man was more of a gotta get pumped up because every day. I mean, when we're shooting the whole season of War, it's like you know, you're waking up and okay, let's do this. But today it's like, oh, life is good, life is great, everything's going well so far. So we'll see. But yeah, but I mean,
I like that he just automatically was on a horse too. So yeah, we're riding a lot of horses.
I want to say one thing about a horse. Since they showed the scene for tonight, there's that scene where I come in on the horse and I talk with Rick tonight, and we did 2 takes, and the first the rehearsal take, I come in on the horse and I'm like nailing it. I'm like, oh yeah, 3-point turn out of there, walk away, you know. Did it. Take one, all right? I start off like that, go this way, and then right as I get in front of camera, then goes. And so I'm not great with the horses. Like it's just, I'm so big and I'm in these things that are like, it's hard to fit, like my foot is the size of the stirrup. So I can't just jump in, it'll miss. And so even when we did that first episode, you know, when he's like, you know, Jared, bring the horses, and I'm like, you know, I'm like, it shows me getting on it, but we had to do first take, I ran the horse into the gun boxes that they were trying to use for steps for me to climb on. And I forgot that they said, these horses will do exactly what you say because they're show horses and they're gonna do whatever. And I was like, oh, so it tripped, and I was like, oh God. It was fine. And then, anyway,
Cooper got on and I heard the horse go, seriously, dude?
He did, no, the horse went, never makes that noise to anyone else. I was like, damn, this is our biggest horse. And I'm like, and so my trick from then on was any dialogue I have while on a horse, keep in mind I'm not comfortable on the horse, you know, which is what, and the horse knows it. The horse is very aware. But I'm just gonna act like I know what I'm doing. So the horse starts like prancing around, and I'm just like having this dialogue completely calm. And kind of turns, and I see in my peripheral the cameraman, the focus puller, the dolly grip, and the second AC all jump off the camera, and because they're on a dolly, they all bail, and my horse comes within maybe this far from the camera, goes. I get like a Star Wars like spaceship, and then when you know we finish the scene, the whole time Andy doesn't like, he and I are like locked, you know. I'm like that trick I learned from Andy was just like, we're focused. We are not leaving this scene. We're not leaving this scene. You know what I'm saying?
Like, have you ever been looking into a little baby's eyes and it starts to boob its pants while you're looking at it? It's like, you can't look away. It's like, we're in this together. It's like, come on, you can get through it. Just same way. It's like, focus, man. Stay on it.
All the way through, yeah. So but he stayed laser locked on me. Then we cut, and he's like, he just gave me this look like that. So I go back, do it again, and then horse was still moving around, but they just kept it on my face. So if you watch tonight, know that entire time I'm like, do this right. Oh my God, you're gonna fall. Okay, you're good right now. Nope, you're gonna fall again. Nope, you're good. Yep, Maggie's doing something. Yep, nope, okay. And I'm turning around, I'm leaving now. Pay attention to that tonight.
Thank you.
I can't wait for the DVD commentary on that scene. That's gonna be awesome.
Hi, my name is Macy, and I just wanted to start out by saying I love you both.
This is awesome. I like this. This is how we love fans. And I know we made you all have to say that you love us both. All part of my master plan.
And so my question is, you both have had some very iconic lines on the show, but what is your favorite line anyone has ever said on the show?
Ever, like what we said on the show, like our favorite thing?
Or, yeah, you or just any other character.
I was a sound guy for 10 years, so I hear all noises, but I hear no words. It's the very, when you're doing sound, you're like, I hear a fridge, I hear this. What was the dialogue? No, I don't know what they're saying.
Say it a little bit louder.
Yeah, just you or any other character on the show that has said anything.
Anything that another character said on the show. I don't listen to other characters on the show. I still, maybe it was because I was there. But you remember the first speech before we go to All Out War, and Andy says, we've already won. It was funny. When I was going over my part of the speech, I was like, okay, you need to hold back a little bit because Ezekiel's supposed to be this kind of orator, and Rick's, he's not like a speech maker necessarily. So I wanted, you want Rick's speech to be the prominent thing, and be brighter. So I was like, let me hold back a little bit so that Andy can really shine or whatever. And then I get out there and Andy starts going into it, and you forget when you're not in his presence how powerful Andy can be. And by the end of that speech, I'm just on fire. I'm just on fire. I'm like, let's kick everybody's ass. And every time he would go, we've won, we've already won. I was just looking around for somebody to hit, He just lit me on fire, and I'll never forget that moment. That's probably one of my favorite moments. We've already won. I mean, and that's one of those things. People use that, and yet I smile, and that I love that I say and talk to me about that a lot. But the thing that I remember from Rick and Andy is that's life. No matter where you are, you've already won. You just get your ass back up and you go finish, right?
Mine was actually when we're the same episode. It was when we're at the gates of the sanctuary, and one of the takes, or a lot of the takes he did when he was asking about counting, because I think on the notes like, you're gonna make me count, he did that, and but when we were shooting it, he was like, you're gonna make me count, you're like, oh, we're about to fight these guys. Oh, this is happening, But he just had this it was like 1. Done, and then start shooting. Yeah, but it was just like this. But that guy, I was like, oh yes, thank you. Can we not talk? Can we just start shooting? And I love that. But this whole
when he slapped the gun, to kick it in, and it just started. Yeah, it was like whatever. Got to 7. I think he got to 7.
Yeah, he got to 7, and yeah. But yeah, no, he has this great way of just firing everyone up. And I think we both lost our voice that day because he's doing his speech. And they're like, yeah, everyone starts screaming, and I'm like, good, because I'm like, ah! And then Tuesday, like, oh, damn, man.
Yeah, Nick and Terrell's like, Kari, take it down. I'm sorry, you got me pumped up. What happened? No, Kari, why are you?
All right, so we're gonna do one more up here, and then we'll do one down here. So we'll go up top.
Go up top.
All right, hi, my name is Nina, I'm from Georgia, and I just wanted to start off by saying thank you because Jerry, Ezekiel, and Shiva are like the trinity of favorite for my boyfriend, so I always have a built-in Christmas gift, birthday gift, anniversary gift. So thank you, I appreciate that.
We try to make your life easier, you covered.
Thank you. My question is, Jerry and Ezekiel have this amazing relationship and it plays so well on screen. How did you prepare for that? Did you meet each other beforehand, or did you just kind of show up and you're like, okay, we're friends now?
I got this job 6 hours before we started shooting. So we lived, how long was it?
So my whole casting thing was, they gave it to me on a Friday, and then a Saturday, again, I did 3 or 4 different takes that I keep sending to Scott. And that Monday, I was shooting a fight sequence. I was in the pool with the camera, and I had 15 people there, and we were ready to go. And then I get the call, hey, great news, you're gonna be on the show. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then they're like, and you have to leave in 3 hours. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. And then they're like, and so my agent's always like, are you happy with this? I'm like, no, it's fine. I'm been trying to shoot this thing for 2 months. Anyway, I actually, during that whole weekend though, I was rewatching for the 3rd time Young Justice. and so I get to, so that Monday, Tuesday, so this is all I was gone. Tuesday I get to hair and makeup, and they're doing his hair for the first time. I think you're getting your first hair test. And I'm like, Kari Payton. And I was like, and I go, so Young Justice, and he's in this way, he's like, yeah, man. And I was like, and then we just started talking, but once I knew, I was like, oh my God, this is Cyborg, this is Aqualad, and I was like, okay, all right, we're cool, we got this. And then I think it was just from that, and then our first night with the pigs.
Yeah, it was, honestly, we just we just clicked like that. I don't remember a moment where we weren't just tight. You know, I mean, it was, yeah. You asked me about Young Justice, and I was like, oh man, because that's one of the cartoons that I've done in the last 10 years that's close to my heart, and he was a big fan, and so we kind of fanboyed together over that show, and from then on, we just been boys. That's it.
Yeah, there's no. We went right into it, yeah.
Right into it. We wrangled some pigs. Pig wrangling makes you closer. What can I tell you?
Stinkiest, best chocolate, peanut butter, weirdest smell combination ever.
Pigs and Reese's Pieces. It was weird.
All right, this will be our last question right here. Hi, I'm Dave from Kentucky, and just
I'm Corey from Georgia.
I'm Cooper from Georgia.
What's up? Awesome.
yo, cool.
I like that shirt.
I like your socks. I think the show has got some of the most incredible writers anywhere. How far can you two, because I love the interactions that you have, how far can you guys deviate from what they tell you to say and what you spontaneously come up with? Because sometimes your guys' eyes catch each other and I think, they aren't just screwing around.
With Scott Gimple, the old showrunner, you had to write like a 3-page dissertation to get him to like change a comma. You know, it was set in stone. He had this stuff like, you know, protracted, and there were, it was like one of those conspiracy boards, and he had yarn going from here to there, and if you move that yarn, all of a sudden everything else falls. He was like, it would, every once in a while I'd get him to let me change something, but it was difficult. With Angela, she's, and maybe it's also because we've been playing the characters for a little while, that she's, more akin to, Ezekiel as well, and maybe he would kind of move this way or move that way. And so I've been able to judge some stuff, here and there a little bit more with Angela. But yeah, so it's been slightly different over the years.
And with me, and because this is what it was like for pretty much everybody, I think. But for me, I don't think they really had much of a clue what Jerry was, in a sense. When I auditioned, all the auditions are not at all how I played it, and that was another reason why I was a little like, I got the role, great, because I didn't want to play it the way I did it in my auditions. I didn't want to be like this, what's up? I didn't want to be that guy. And so I was like a little bit disappointed, and then we did that table read, and I read it like that, and I was just like, oh God, I'm awful. And then had that talk with Scott that night, and then he said, you know what, the reason I liked you was because of it was from how you slated, and when you smile, it makes me feel so happy, and then when you're not smiling, I get kind of scared. So I'd like to maybe we just keep you really friendly as you are, and then when things go down, we can kind of make sure you're like a berserker. And I was waiting for those moments, and then I was like, all season 6, because that's what we said first before we shot our first episode on 7. And then I was like, when is this happening? And then some guy comes along on season 8, cuts a man in half, and I was like, oh, there it is. So I was waiting, but I really do feel like whenever I do I do Jerry, they just sort of let me do whatever I want. I can't change lines, but they really have, I guess, I don't know, maybe, sure, we'll use that. So I try to do it.
Everything changed with Deuces, man. Everything changed with Deuces. When he put it up and he was like, Deuces, and it was like, that's him! That's the guy! I remember watching because I did The Talking Dead, that first season that we were together, and my episode was actually the weekend of Walker Stalker. I flew back on this Sunday would be to do The Talking Dead. So they showed me the episode early, and I watched it, and I immediately called Cooper, and I was like, dude, I'm so excited for you. Everybody's going to love you. And Cooper was like, oh man, thank you for saying that. I'm just so worried. I'm just so worried nobody's gonna like what I'm doing. Which just made me even happier because I was everybody. I was everybody before anybody was anybody, knowing how much I love Jerry and how much the world was gonna love Jerry.
Make sure to check out Teen Titans Go to the Movies, which is available next week. Shazam next year. Go see it in theaters. Guys, give it up for Kari Payton.
Fresh Cobbler.